Hello everyone, this is Jeff Jenness, and I'd like to demonstrate how we do lab exercise 2 of the selections exercises. This one we're going to learn how to use the select by location tool, and we'll also bring in some select by attributes functions as well. And we're going to try different selection methods to see how those work. And we really need these selection methods in order to build complex multi-criteria selections. So let's see how they work. Okay, first off we have to add our data to the map. For these exercises we're going to do the road status. And I have you add that to the map first just because when a map doesn't have data, then it also doesn't have a coordinate system, and the first data set you add will set the map coordinate system. Now, the coordinate system stuff will make more sense when you go over the projections and datums lectures, but for the time being, just make sure you add this Coconino road status first. It'll just make the rest of the exercise work correctly. All right, so Coconino roads first, and we're going to add the Upper Spruce watershed. Just add that in there, and we're going to add some survey points. I'm adding the survey points layer so that it will come in symbolized the way I want. I'm going to zoom to the extent of the survey points because that's where much of our selections will be taking place. Now the first step of this exercise is to select by intersection, and we're going to select all these survey points that are inside this polygon here. So first thing we do is we go to the selection menu, open up the select by location tool. Here we go. Just bring it over here a little bit. Now there's several things on this tool that we need to understand. First off, the selection method. This is really the heart of this whole lab exercise, and it's very important that you understand what these options mean. There's 4 options here. This first one, select features from. This makes a brand new selection on the feature class. Anything that's currently selected, that is all wiped clean. Adding to currently selected features means to take anything that's currently selected and just possibly make more features selected. Removing from the currently selected features means that we have a bunch of them already selected and we just want to unselect some of them. And finally, select from the currently selected features. Well, this means we have a bunch of them selected and then we want to pick out some subset. Now the first selection that we ever do on a feature class is the brand new ones. In this case, select features from. That makes a brand new selection on whatever we're going to operate on. Now, target layer, what does that mean? Target layer is the thing that will become selected after we run the tool. Now, in this example, we want to select the survey points that exist within the polygon, so the target is the survey points. These will become selected later. This option, source layer, this is the data set that we are comparing our target layer to. Remember, our goal is to select the survey points that lay within this polygon. Therefore, this polygon is the data set we are comparing the target layer points to. So, source layer should be the Upper Spruce watershed boundary. And finally, our spatial selection method. This is the spatial relationship that we're interested in. In this case, we want all the points that are in this polygon, and intersect is a good option for that. So if we just hit go right now, then we should wind up with all of the points within this polygon becoming selected. We're going to hit apply, and just to be clear, the difference between the apply and the OK button, they both run the selection. Only difference is that OK will close this window afterwards, apply will not. So I'm going to just hit apply so I had the window open for later. Now let's take advantage of the fact that we have a GIS system that's showing us a map, and we can see visually that the operation appeared to work correctly. All the points that were inside the polygon appear to be selected. This is a good method. It's good to be able to watch the data set as you apply these selections. All right, so that's the first step. Okay, now we're curious how many points were selected. We just open up the attribute table for the survey points. We see quickly that there are 3,900 points selected. Okay, now the next part of this exercise, we're interested in these survey points that are still within this polygon, but which are also close to a particular set of roads. So this means we first have to select the roads that we're interested in. So this operation is a select by attributes on the roads. So we open up the attribute table. We want to select all the roads that are considered motor vehicle use map roads, these things that start with MVUM. You see all of these here in the list. So we want to select just the MVUM roads. We don't want the limited admin use. We don't want the close. We don't want the decommission. So we're going to do a select by attributes, open up the select by attributes window. To select all rows that begin with the letters MVUM, this is what we call a like query. So the status is where the MVUM values exist. And in fact, you can see that here in the layer. You see that Coconino Road status is being symbolized by the attribute field status. So status values are what we care about. We want to select all the status ones that start with MVUM. All right. We do status, like, that's how we do these wildcard queries. All text values have to start with a single apostrophe, and then we want it to start with MVUM with any number of characters after that. This star is the appropriate multi-character wildcard for this particular type of database. Then we close it off with a single apostrophe, and now our query is good to go. We can check it if we want. We see that it is successfully verified. Hit apply, and we get all our MVUM rows selected. All right, so now the rows that we care about have been selected. We're good. The next part here, though, is that we want to select these points that are within 1 kilometer of these MVUM rows. Now the key here is that we're going to change our selection method. We're no longer making a brand new selection on the points because we already had the first round of it done here. We got the points within the polygon. Now we want to select from these points those survey points that are close to the roads, and here we do a little check mark to tell it we only care about these selected roads. And then intersect is a decent one for this, but we want the points within 1 kilometer, so we have to add a search distance. 1 kilometer. So now what should happen? If I run this, I should see points that are currently selected and are also within 1 kilometer of these selected roads remain selected, and everything else become unselected. I hit apply, and I'm thinking that looks okay. If I want to double check the roads under there, I can turn the survey points off. Just turn that off, and we see where the roads we care about are. Turn the survey points back on and see where the selected survey points are. And yes, this all is looking appropriate. So always be checking your map to make sure it makes sense. Okay, so now we have finished this step. How many survey points do we have so far? We're down to 3,101 survey points selected. So right now, these are the points that meet 2 criteria. First, they're within this polygon, and second, they're within 1 kilometer of MVUM roads. Okay, now we're going to add a new criteria. Now we want to unselect all those points that are within 1/4 of a kilometer, 250 meters, of these roads. So this is another select by location, but with a different method. So we have these roads selected. They're all within 1 kilometer. We want to unselect those that are within 1/4 kilometer. So we change our method to remove from the currently selected features. Survey points is still the target. We're still comparing it to the roads, and we're still comparing it just to the selected roads. We have to change our search distance here. Now, I'm going to make it meters. Why not? 250 meters. All right, we hit apply, and we should see all the points right next to the roads become unselected. And sure enough, always be watching the map. Now we're down to 2,043. And then finally, we're going to use a new method on the attributes. We're going to close the select by location window. Of these 2,043 points that are currently selected, I only want those points that have a class value greater than or equal to 8. So here's the class attribute field. We just want to select this one that has 8 and 9, up through 16 or up through 15. So we only want the ones 8 through 15. So it's a select by attributes. We open up the select by attributes window. Where class greater than or equal to, this button means greater than or equal. And I'm just going to type in 8. I could hit get unique values, and I could have clicked on 8 here, but It's just as easy to type. Now the key here is I have to change my method. Remember, if I choose this option, create a new selection, it's just going to wipe the slate clean. All our work so far will be gone. I want to select just from these currently selected features. So I change my method to select from current selection. Hit OK, apply, and brings us down to 1,076 points left. Okay, and that's it. Thanks so much.